Women have reached peak insanity by Sydney Watson channel, so don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and let's watch it.
28 weeks pregnant. You know what I'm gonna take? Some Tylenol, acetaminophen.
Oh no, the Tylenol again. We've reacted to the Metatron video talking about this. Oh god, these stupid women doing things, horrible things, putting their health in danger, but also the worst. Because I mean, they are adults. They do whatever they want with their lives as long as it don't create problems to other people's lives, including here. And you can include here her children, her kid, her baby that she's. You know, she is in the middle of a pregnancy. She's putting the life of a kid in danger doing that. That's the whole problem of it. You want to be insane and like poison yourself with a huge amount of medicine because just because a politician you don't like said something about this. You're so fucking insane, but it's like I said in the last video that like the evil and the stupidity walk together, like, right? So but yeah, that video in question of Metatron, we discussed it more. I think it was more one case in a specific. I think here on this video we will probably go more in depth all of this and talk about probably a lot more of examples, it seems, because the video is big. So I didn't know it would be about it when I read the title, but yeah, I think it is valid for us to watch it. So let's see it. Let's see how it goes.
And my baby won't have autism.
I always feel like we finally hit peak
Jesus
stupidity,
Christ.
but then things happen. And once again, I am proved wrong.
Welcome back to hell.
Hi, my name is
literally,
Sydney. Welcome back to hell. And today is an especially bumpy hell gondola ride indeed. Also, I really quickly want to make note of some things happening over
I need
with my
a
tea
cup
company.
of that
if you are
size.
new here, I have a little tea business. I make yummy little blends. Number one, my winter flavors will probably be back in stock tomorrow. I'm pretty sure that's when I get my newest shipment. So like I said, no pre-sale. They'll just be straight on the website for you to buy. Number two, and I think this is much more important, as you guys know, I don't like throwing things away. And I have a bunch of tea that's going to be expiring at the end of November, more or less. Although tea doesn't really expire and they're all individually sealed, so you know, there's that. So if you are cool with that, use the discount code WE-DON'T-WASTE for 50% off on the Emerald Green, Earl Grey, and New York breakfast. And if you are somebody who has a church or you have a cafe or somewhere that serves tea drinks, please reach out to me because I have been giving no strings attached tea to people, to churches and to cafes and restaurants and things, just for them to actually be able to sell to their people, because if I don't sell all these boxes, I'm gonna have to throw them away, and I would rather they get used through these other organizations and through other businesses. That's all. Sorry I'm talking so much. I just want to let you guys know we don't waste for 50% off of those 3 flavors if you're not worried about the expiration impending. Now, we have an especially dumb thing to talk about today.
I find it interesting that you guys can do such a thing in your country, because in my country, she could really put herself in a bad situation just for trying to sell something that is already expired. Like really, like it's a really bad idea here because of, you know, our laws and stuff like that. But yeah, I think you guys can do that in your country probably as long as you explain yourself that it's expired, it seems, or else she wouldn't probably be doing that. But I think, if I remember correctly, Sydney is from Australia, right? Or I'm crazy. I'm not sure.
Because it's the end of 2025 and nothing has improved. I am sure many of you have already seen the recent announcement by Trump and the Secretary of Health and Human Services, RFK Jr., made here at the end of September that the FDA will be updating drug safety guidelines for Tylenol usage for pregnant women. Also known by its other name, acetaminophen, which I won't be saying too much because it's quite a mouthful, just the way Tylenol likes it. Anyway, the reason for this update is because some studies studies have associated Tylenol usage during pregnancy with adverse neurological outcomes in children. There is a suggested link to autism as well as other conditions like ADHD. So mothers are taking Tylenol for their headaches and giving their child a permanent one. I am kidding, obviously. We love mums on this channel. We respect mums on this channel, but the jokes,
of course.
They kind of write themselves. I also know this is a very touchy subject. Tylenol, giving all new meaning to big brain. Okay, I'll stop. Trump and RFK Jr. also announced a promising therapeutic treatment for kids with autism that also have folate deficiencies, which I'm not going to get into, but there you go, now you know. Now, although I am a doctor, I am not that kind of a doctor. I'm not a medical doctor, so I'm not going to weigh in here about whether or not all of this is true and fair and accurate. And even the administration, with these new findings, with this new information, has said that because there is conflicting data on the Tylenol subject, the Department of Health and Human Services is advising doctors to use their best judgment, oh god, and offer women the lowest possible...
To use their best judgment. Like, just because it's all about politicians now, doctors have to use the best judgment. They cannot even say that this causes real problems to the moms and their kids because it somehow becomes political. Just because Trump said. Just because Trump said it's all about politics now and not actual harm to humans. Like human babies, you know, like, what the fuck, man? I remember seeing something, and it's not related to this, okay? I said this in the last video, in the Metatron reacted to this. I saw, I think months ago, I don't know, quite a long time ago, something about Tylenol makes people having Alzheimer. I don't know if it's true or not. I saw videos talking about that it damaged the brain. And so if you took, I don't know how much, like, for, I don't know how much dosage it puts in risk, but it's not for, I feel a few times in your life, it's already enough for you to maybe increase the chances of, I don't know if I remember, 50% or more, the chances of you having Alzheimer, you know? And yeah, sadly, my mom gave me a lot of that when I was a kid. And maybe, just maybe that explains I'm having ADHD, but I don't know. I really don't know, okay? I'm not saying that it's about it, but I have a strong, as you guys know, I have a very strong ADHD, and probably it's related to that. I don't know. Now that I'm responsible to myself, I always, when I have headaches and etc., I always use it. I don't know if the name in English is Dipiron. I don't know if it's the same name. I think it's, I don't know, I think it's prohibited in United States somehow. But here compared, because I made a kind of a research about it, and I saw that in the same category of medications, this is the safest one to headaches and etc. But I always avoid using this stuff at all. But yeah, while I wasn't responsible for myself yet, my mom always, when I had some kind of fever or anything like that, gives me Tylenol. So yeah, maybe this is a reason for why I have these problems. So yeah, but it's not her fault. She didn't knew that we didn't have this information that we had nowadays, and yeah, it's kind of not her fault. But yeah. I will have to deal with it in my entire life, yes. Like Sydney was joking about just now. And what was we talking about again? I forgot. Okay, I think you guys understood. Let's continue.
Dosage for the shortest amount of time when necessary, which seems pretty fair and reasonable to me. I mean, pregnant women across the board are told not to eat deli meat because 0.012% of them end up getting listeria, which is a bacterial infection that does some kooky stuff. And yet, despite the fact that incidence of this infection is relatively rare, they are still told unilaterally to stay away from the cured pig meat. So if we can do some broad sweeping stuff over here, why can't we do the same thing when it comes to these kind of drugs? That's the real question that I have. So in response
Because
to this news,
it
instead
becomes
of being
political.
normal, sane people, progressive women on TikTok have decided to film themselves taking Tylenol while pregnant to, I don't know, spite Trump, to get the righties. I don't know the motivation behind this. I did tell you this is one hell of a gondola ride today.
28.
Who would imagine that we would be seeing such a thing in 2025, right? It's so stupid that we have hard times in believing on this.
Weeks pregnant. You know what I'm gonna take? Some Tylenol, acetaminophen. It's gonna work like a charm, and my baby won't have autism.
Jesus Christ.
Where are the husbands in all of this? Now, a lot of these videos don't have audio, but they feature mostly the same sort of...
As if a husband would have anything to say to a feminist woman. Like, the guy could do anything. At this point, and her wife probably already cut away his balls or something like that. Oh, I wasn't supposed to say that. Yeah.
Caption: I'm pregnant and have a headache and still reaching for Tylenol. Sorry, not sorry. Orange man is not my OB. I love how they do this because they solely want other women to get on the internet and then seal clap for their utter stupidity. But I think the majority of us are over here like, do you have a dumb? Here's me, a pregnant woman taking Tylenol because I believe in science and not someone who has no medical background. I am willing to bet this woman wore a mask in her car and spent 3 years being afraid of air. Oh yes, I believe in science, but only when the people I like are telling me the science.
Oh my god.
I'm sorry, but you just look stupid. Stocking up on Tylenol because I know it doesn't cause autism. I am not kidding. I would love to know who is impregnating these women, because it's feeling a little irresponsible on the part of the men. I don't know, guys, when I was growing up, I heard that rule a lot passed around men about not putting your man pickle in the crazy sauce. If you
I agree with
know
her.
What I mean.
What
Hello,
you guys
chickens,
are doing.
editing
I mean,
Sydney for the
I know
future
my
here
audience
because
doesn't
I forgot
do
to tell
that.
you that there is...
Right, guys? You guys don't do that, right? Please don't tell me you do that. Don't go for this woman, please. Please no.
A kind of sauce that we do like on this channel, although it's not actually sauce, it's hot chocolate. And it's a kind of hot chocolate that helps you sleep, which is why today's video is sponsored by Beam. I have officially become a dream merchant because anytime anyone in my life says that they're having trouble sleeping, I immediately suggest they try Dream Sleep Hot Cocoa. I even recently used Dream in pill form on a long haul flight a few weeks ago, and I slept the entire time. It's not very often that I find a brand that I like as much as Dream, but I think it's because this stuff actually works. It also tastes really good, but that's probably more of a secondary point. I drink my sleepy hot chocolate about an hour before bed, and I find myself calmly heading off to sleep and staying asleep, and I also don't get that gross grogginess when I wake up, which honestly is really important to me because grogginess completely ruins my mornings. I feel like I'm
I really
the
need
entire
one
time.
of these.
But I wake up feeling rested when I drink
To
Dream,
mix
which is
stuff
why I
all the
continue doing it. I have also converted basically everybody
Instead
in my
of
life to this
using a
stuff,
spoon.
so I don't know, I now have the testimony of like 5
I'm
different
so
people.
weak for
I really like
propaganda.
that Dream uses great ingredients like reishi and magnesium and L-theanine and melatonin, although there are melatonin-free options if that isn't for you. So if you too want the best night's sleep and a yummy drink, then click the link in the description or go to shopbeam.com/SydneyW, and of course use code SydneyW for up to 35% off today. I mean, at least this woman is obviously pregnant, but I don't think she's actually even taking Tylenol here. This tablet is blue. I don't know, maybe there are blue tablets, but usually they're white. So this is what, like extra performing? And why does this read like a Tylenol commercial? Why have you positioned the bottles this way? What am I watching here? I am reaching for the Tylenol because I work in a pharmacy and know there's zero correlation between Tylenol and...
You know, Sidi, I don't even want to understand what's going on, really. I really don't want to.
autism. That's a bold claim.
I know
Zero
enough already.
correlation. Okay, pharmacy lady. I do think that this last weird TikTok kind of does hit an odd nail
I
on the
know
head,
enough.
given that there are a lot of people now who are making the claim that there's no relationship between this drug and negative birth outcomes. And yet there has been evidence mounting for years and years that says exactly the opposite, that does show a correlation between these two things. And I'm not saying how good or bad that evidence is, I'm just saying that it exists. A short trip down memory lane gives us an announcement from the FDA in 2015 suggesting a potential issue with Tylenol and pregnancy. This Johns Hopkins 2019 research paper, Taking Tylenol During Pregnancy Associated with Elevated Risks for Autism, ADHD. And this found that in newborns with the highest exposure to the core drug in Tylenol, they were about 3 times more likely to be diagnosed with ADHD or autism spectrum disorder in childhood, which is, that's alarming. In 2016, 2017, and 2021, and honestly, I'm sure that they have covered this previously as well.
The most fun in all
CNN
of this
ran
is that
pieces
they're
about
all
the drug's relation.
the most funny all of this, is that their own, producer of Tylenol says for you to not consume this while pregnant. And they still think it's about Trump.
Relationship to risks of ADHD.
Or, it's about science. I'm respecting science, that's why I'm taking it. No, you're not, because science, if science, who created the fucking medicine, instant-wise, the people who study it, so shouldn't you be listening to people who actually, actually create this medicine and that you're taking, when they say for you not take this while pregnant.
In kids and risks to pregnancy. Of course, now they've changed their tune to Big Pharma good, Orange Man bad, because who cares about consistency, am I right? There are, of course, other research papers and other studies and evaluations that have cautioned women against taking Tylenol while pregnant, as it may lead to potentially negative outcomes in babies. People have also dug up Tylenol's previous tweets, where the company seems to admit itself that taking the medication while pregnant is not advised. Although, admittedly, this is contradicted by what is directly written on their website right now, which argues that it has been widely tested and is safe for women in all stages of their life. For some reason as well, this situation has given left-wing outlets this weird
can't be real.
moment.
Just because, just because Trump said that, even the fucking... Oh no, man, they changed what they said just because it became political. Now they have to say that it doesn't harm women. Because some billionaire poured a lot of money to make them change the states. Oh my god, Oh no, again, not again. Jesus Christ, have you seen that on the fucking vaccine? Oh no, man.
Where they've posted articles
not
saying
again.
conservatives
Jesus
are melting
Christ.
down about pregnant women taking Tylenol, or the women posting these videos in the first place are in defiance of Trump. But I think that's part of what's actually insane
it cannot
here.
be
I
real.
personally am a big believer in adults making their own choices, but making good and educated choices, informed choices, which is why back when I made my video talking about hormonal birth control, I really hammered on the fact that
But they are quote-unquote informed by the wrong side, by the mainstream media,
a lot of us in our teens, when we're prescribed the pill,
They are
don't
so
have what I would
well-informed.
consider to be good informed consent. But that's obviously a conversation for another day. But I think hilariously, the informed consent, educated consent thing is what is sort of circling this entire topic. It's not as if Trump and co said, you can never ever take Tylenol ever again. We're going to ban it and pull it off shelves and do all these things and restrict your access to it. They're saying, when you take this, if you decide to take this, make sure that that's a good and informed decision. The Department of Health and Human Services has more or less said, use caution when taking this drug when you're pregnant and speak to your physician. And they didn't even say that it definitively causes autism. They said it's a factor in a series of factors. So all of these weirdos who are running around the internet ingesting this drug to, I don't know, own Trump, to own the right wing, are genuinely insane. These lunatic weirdos let their hate for Orange Man completely destroy their ability to use rational thought, because Trump and friends are not pulling this information out of their buttholes. It's coming from Harvard, and it's coming from other
And the thing that no one's talking about the actual kids, the actual babies inside their bellies, you know? These kids are so doomed. Poor kids, oh my god. It's so terrible. It's so terrible. This I will not even say. I will not even say, okay?
Other researchers and doctors. And if there is a potential that this drug causes autism, contributes.
But it really sees, I watched this video, it really sees that people forgets about the principle, like the main thing. The babies. The babies.
To autism, whatever. I actually think it's a good thing that women have access to that information so that they can make their own decisions going forward. And I mean, as a complete aside, I would bet a lot of money that the people currently going bananas over this right now probably, were the trust the science folks during the big sneeze and think that Anthony Fauci is some sort of living god. So, there's that. And I've seen so many people share weird graphics saying autism is some sort of superpower that doesn't need to be fixed.
Number one piece of advice I can give
Until
you,
you
hire the most autistic
until you
person
have a kid
you
that
know.
has
I'm talking that motherfucker who goes non-verbal when there's groups bigger than 3. That is where the magic comes. Autism in the trenches, it's alchemy for literal cash. I mean, people don't get this, right? You're scared of the kid who looks like he might, I won't say it on stream, right? But like that kid is a gold mine. Man, the guy that made Call of Duty, you think he can speak and hold a regular conversation? No. People don't understand that weaponized autism is the key to greatness. I mean, my whole generation, but we all had a couple bad vaccines, but it's the motherfuckers who tried to steer away from that instead of just accepting that something is a little off. We had some shit fried, but more importantly, that shit that was fried is the key to living like a beautiful life. Embrace that autism and then weaponize that shit. It's like so beautiful.
And maybe this is a big...
It is fine if you have it. And you try to, if you are a mom or a kid that has it, you try to give the best life you can for a kid that has these problems. They need to be included in society, and of course, but it's not easy. It's not easy to create a kid with autism and with sometimes a high level of it. It's very difficult. It's very difficult. I've seen a lot of kids here grown with autism. Like there is kind of an epidemic. I wouldn't say that. Because I'm not sure about data, but I see that there's too many kids with autism here where I live, And I see all the hardships that and that the parents talk to us, and we know all the struggles that they have with these kids, and it's not easy. It shouldn't be romanticized, But of course, as long as you have a kid or even if you is an adult that has this problem, you have, to live your life at the fullest, of course. But it cannot be romanticized. It cannot. And, it's not easy. It's not simple as that. Damn, why I need to explain this stuff? It's like explaining that the grass is green. Oh my god, when we became so stupid, when society became so stupid. I mean, I know the answer to these things that I ask, but these moments that you just cannot accept that you live in this moment, in this timeline, you never asked for this, and you have to reap what the society has been sowing for all this time. It's unfair, damn.
Bigger component to this than a lot of us realize, and I honestly don't want to get into it in detail in this video, but maybe part of the problem here is the fact that people have over self-diagnosed with autism, and they have made autism this fun little quirky thing that
exactly,
that it refers to the sort of idiosyncrasies that individual people might have and display, rather than the debilitating neurological condition that it is that prohibits certain people from living full, fulfilling lives, that requires them to have full-time care, and really is a condition that's not fun at all. And I think something that really gets lost in all
they need to have like a psychological support for most of their lives so they can try to maybe have a normal life, because some of them after many years on treatment they still cannot have a normal life. They still have difficulty to do very simple stuff. that we do normally, you know? That's not fun. That is not fun. People have to stop romanticizing this. It's not fun at all. Of course, if you have this forever, you have to face it and try to live at the fullest as you can, you know, and try to, you know, to be happy and all, but don't try to bring this as if it was something cool to acquire to your kid, because it's not you who gonna suffer for it. It's your kid.
All of this is that parents, regardless of their political
And yeah, if you're a parent that actually care for your kid, you're gonna suffer together as well when it's born with autism, with a very high degree of autism.
leanings and persuasions, I would imagine if they could, would snap their fingers and rid their children of the profound autism, as RFK Jr. calls it, because they know that this is no life for their little people, and this is no life even for their grown children that they continue to care for. And if they could give that child the opportunity to live a fulfilling, happy, normal life, they would do that. So I find it extremely upsetting and disappointing that this specific issue gets politicized as much as it does, because yeah, people have autism and they have it to varying degrees, but for the people who are profoundly affected by this condition, it's not just little quirkies and idiosyncrasies. It's a debilitating, challenging way to live, not just for the person who has it, but for the people who have to care for that individual and ensure that they do have a quality of life. I really didn't want to get all serious on you guys, but I do actually think this is a very serious topic, and I don't think that
It
it's
is a serious topic.
political topic.
That's
I think
it.
that it's a, you know, non-partisan issue, and we should,
Yeah,
I
we don't think that
collectively
it's
be
political because
more
we are
focused on
normal
trying
people.
to find a way of bringing autism rates down. And so I'm sorry to the liberals who are upset about this, that this information is coming from people that you don't like, but they are committed to finding, not a cure necessarily, I don't know if that could exist, but they are committed to finding a way of ameliorating all of this for all of us. That last statement felt very pro-government, but hopefully you guys know what I mean. You know what I'm trying to get at, because I don't have a big brain and I cannot articulate myself today. The last thing I want to note really, really quickly, because I do really think it matters, and again, I'm not going to spend a ton of time on this, is the fact that a bunch of people are currently worshipping at the altar of Tylenol, and for some weird reason defending Big Pharma, because, okay. But what's not getting mentioned
Yeah,
here
because
is
Big
the fact
Pharma
that
is so good,
Tylenol
right?
as a
As if they were not the reason why we still does not have a cure for cancer and Alzheimer up to today, for example, and many other, like, strong, potentially, you know, dangerous disease like birth of diabetes and many others that we have nowadays, intentionally, so you can die slowly and suffering, but giving them tons of money buying their medicines and all these treatments, and also moving the you know, the hospitals and etc. economy as well. So your death will give them tons of money while they also progress with the progressive agenda of reducing the world's population, because you're gonna die way sooner, you know?
brand has been
Yeah,
at the heart
the
of
Big
a
Pharma
bunch
is so
of
good.
not great
It's sad that people are not questioning themselves why we don't have cures for this cancer, for this, I'm sorry, for this disease, and many others like, you know, AIDS and, you know, sexual STDs, up until nowadays, like, I don't know why people stop questioning themselves about AIDS, like, when it's very much clear, and we've seen a lot, it's not difficult for you to see, like, news that cures for some of these diseases that were found like many years ago, it just disappeared all of a sudden, and no one talks about it anymore. I remember seeing many times. But yeah, I don't have data, so you guys, it's just my opinion. You guys can believe in what I said or not. Just go search for yourselves. Like, it's pretty much clear what they do. Like, it's not conspiracy. What again? Come again? Conspiracy shit. You guys know conspiration is. You guys know how I have difficulty to pronounce that. Okay, theory. So no, it's not. Go search for yourself. You still might find something about this stuff that I'm saying here. I'm not crazy, okay? Of course, you guys, my oldest is very smart and probably knows that already because no, there is no way big corpos are good for you. And that includes big pharma as well, you know? Big pharma corporations. They are included on that. So no, they are not good for you. They don't care about you. They just care about money. That's it. And the way that they can gain more money as ever is like killing you slowly by make you taking tons of medicines. And I am pain and sadness, you know, and make your parents suffer while they take care of you in your last years of, you know, yeah. That's it, because you're evil. They are disgusting, and I hope they burn in
Great
hell.
lawsuits. It does cause negative effects on the body, and people routinely take too much of it, causing liver failure, kidney failure, high blood pressure. There's all sorts of issues that are not associated with pregnancy. Now, ignoring all of this, including the new pregnancy information, because you don't like who is delivering it, because you don't like who is telling you the news, is reckless. Because like I said, this is not a political issue. This is a health and wellness issue. This is an issue surrounding us failing the next generation of little people who are being brought into the world with all sorts of conditions that we could avoid had we just listened a little bit better to the news and the information that was around us. Researchers have continually been waving the red flag when it comes to this issue, and it keeps getting swept under the rug. I have said this a million times, but I'm gonna say it again. Drug companies do not care about you. They just don't. They are not impressed. They do not give a crap
don't
about the
tell
fact
me.
that there's
No
a bunch of
surprise for
women
me.
currently taking Tylenol and potentially harming their pregnancies. They don't care about any of that. They don't think that you're some savior for their drug. All they care about is getting their drugs to market, and whatever ways, whatever things they need to do to make that happen. That is what they care about. And I think to demonstrate that, all we really need to do is look at thalidomide, which was the drug that was prescribed to women, to pregnant women during the 50s and early 60s. It was a drug that was given to women for morning sickness, and yet it caused catastrophic birth defects. And the manufacturer of this drug, fun fact, knew about some of the drug's ill effects and chose not to publicize them, and this was a whole thing. Weirdly, this is one of the only things that I remember from the early days of my first degree, because we just did this like whole unit on something related to this. I don't know what it was, but anyway, I learned a ton about thalidomide. Don't ask me why this is the one thing I remember, but it is. So yeah, thalidomide was eventually...
Same as for the industry of electricity, you know, the energy, like it is the same thing. They disappear with people who have like better ideas to deliver, like, you know, very cheaper ways of you know, of energy for you pay less or pay nothing at all in cost or money to have energy for your home, you know, and stuff like that. They've been doing this thing for like, it's big corpus. Big corpus is a huge, like, it's the word sickness. This and governments, it's always say they are the raise of they are the root of all evil, you know. Like, that's it. That's it.
After all these babies were deformed and all these mothers and fathers and lives were traumatized and broken.
We are not free. We never were. But I think it's pretty much more clear today because, you know, because we have access to information. We live in an invisible jail, you know. That's it. The world literally it's not like, it's not from God. It literally is in the hands of the demon, you know. He is the one who rules over society, who rules the world. The world is really not of God anymore. Yeah, that's it. I mean, it's nothing new. It's like for, I mean, thousands and thousands of years already like that. But yeah, I think today it's pretty much clear. If you, okay, you have the right to not believe on that. Oh, you are an atheist or whatever. So it's up to you if you're gonna believe or not. I think like there is no way you can still be an atheist in 2025, seeing all of this happening, and you do really believe that it's just humans being humans and You know, it's not like that.
broken and destroyed. They finally pulled the drug off shelves and kind of were like, well, oopsie, look, we kind of messed up. This video's gotten really
But I'm not the best person to talk about Christianity for you guys. As I always say here, I am not the person that will do that, you know? Because I'm not knowledgeable enough to do such things. I barely can speak my English and talk about matters on video, so I will not be the one who will discuss this with you. But, yeah. Someone will, sooner or later, because there is plenty of people out there that will always be disturbing you with this, because I know you guys feel disturbed by talking about God. Yeah, by the way, I saw a video today. I'm sorry if I'm changed the topic. I saw a video today. I think the guy in a wheelchair, I think it was in France. He migrated from I don't know where to France, and he just was like living a quiet life, like with his TikTok, like being like having his account like always being on risk, because a lot of Muslims like making huge like false claims to his account, so they will just shut down his account or something like that. But it didn't work, and the guy was just doing a live stream on TikTok talking about God, about Christianity and all this stuff, when he was suddenly stabbed on live stream. Like, this has to stop. It was in France. I saw today a video about it. It was more or less like that. It was... If this is not the end of the world, I don't know what it is. I really
serious,
don't.
and I wasn't intending for it to, but I guess I care about this a lot, and I want to make the point that I think history tells us a lot about how drug companies are going to behave, because it's not as if they've changed since the days of thalidomide. They've just gotten much better at hiding their nonsense. Ultimately, I hate the fact that a bunch of mums are going to be looking at their autistic children and thinking, did I do something wrong? That makes me sad for them, it really does. But I am glad that there might potentially be some sort of answer to that question. Because even if it makes you feel bad, maybe it's good to know what happened and what...
This woman that have been doing this stuff intentionally, doing such a thing, doing such a vile things against their kids, you can bet that if that kids being born with this kind of problems, autism, etc., ADHD and many other stuff, if they are born with these problems, no one will need to say nothing to them. They will know. Probably because they don't take accountability for anything, because they are fucking stupid and disgusting, evil human beings. They will not say a thing, but they will think inside their heads. They will, believe me. They will think that it's their fault, and they will know exactly, they will think about the exact moment that they have done the stupidity of taking each pill of this Tylenol, They will remind of this.
Transpired that might have led to a
You
specific
can bet
outcome.
on that.
So on that front, although it's sad, maybe it's a good thing. And all these people who are running around taking these drugs as a form of protest are really just useful idiots. In the end, I do believe that knowledge is power.
As
and
always.
I think that the more that we learn about specific conditions and the many, many contributing factors that lead to them, the better off we will be as a society. But for right now, I do wish that the people on TikTok would just...
I wanted to believe on
Now,
this.
on that
I
very
really
happy
wanted
and pleasant
to.
note, and before I open the floor to all of you, this is just a reminder, check out Dream/Beam. Using the link in the description, I cannot sing the praises of this hot chocolate enough. I love this stuff. It's just become such a staple in my household. I really like this company, so if this is something that you think would work for you, absolutely check them out. And I hope you have a good sleep. Now, I open the floor to all of you. What do you all think? Are you on my side of this issue, where you're looking at this all unfold and just thinking, why?
Totally on
Why
your
would you do
side.
this? Why would you politicize this? This is so silly. Do you think that people are
If you are
doing
not
what
on
they're
our
doing on
side, so
TikTok
then what
because
you're
they're
gonna
trying
do?
to
What
protest
you're
Trump?
doing
What
here?
do you think underpins that? Because I don't really think I have an answer to that. Do you think that there is actually a meaningful relationship between Tylenol and autism? And do you think that's something that maybe we should explore further? What do you think of all of the little components surrounding this issue? The fact that the media are making fun of Trump and co for this, the fact that in years gone by, they've pointed out the relationship between this drug and autism, and what you generally make of this issue overall. As always, if you've made it this far in the video, congratulations. I always like having you along for the full ride. If you are new here and you're not subscribed to the channel and you would like to see more of me and more of this kind of content, feel free to subscribe, as well as leaving this video a like and a comment, because I do read the majority of them. I really do. My mom called me out. She's like, I bet you don't. And I was like, no, I really do. And I like hearing your feedback. Of course, my little chickadee noodle people, I hope you stay safe and well and make very good choices, because those are important. And I will see your wonderful little faces in the next video.
Before we go any further, I want to take this brief moment here to thank all of you, my patrons, for the incredible support to my work, and especially my three-tailed fox tier members, Heath Rowell, Fenny Sylvy, Zalost, Wolf, and Richard Robb, for the incredible support to my work. Thank you very, very much. You guys are amazing. Also, thanks to all of you who supported me through Ko-Fi or Tron. Thank you very, very much. You can support this channel life and growth with just $5 a month and gain access to many perks. This is less than a burrito. Check out my Patreon. Link is in the description below. Thanks today for the awesome video. I hope this video was informative somehow and useful for you guys live. And somehow, even though the atmosphere of this video is not that, happy, but I hope somehow this made your day better. Hopefully. I don't know how, but yeah. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Check the links below. Patreon, Discord, Skillfull Friends. Consider support me so I can get the fuck out of this terrible communist country that is mine. And I'll see all you guys in the next one. Bye.